Hello, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Robert and I went through our closet and took everything out we could find that was green. And leprechauns and pots of gold are everywhere in this gorgeous day in Santa Barbara. So, welcome to the Advancement Center, the fast growing industry of magic and miracles, where we will be dwelling in the unknown, the impossible, and the sheer joy of visiting our inner child who is always working with the impossible by wishing on a star and spreading the sparkles and giggles with the help of Tinkerbell. And she's here today. And I want to share her with you right here. There. Now, these sparkles that you have are very real. And depending upon how you're feeling, everyone else in the room can feel your sparkles or the lack of them. Do you know that by the time you were 3, you had formed your view of the world? I learned this from Robert, who said that he was watching and knew that I didn't speak until I was 3. And somehow or other, I happened to find this. So there she is, 3 years old, never having spoken, but looking around. I had total awareness of my school experience, including the teachers that cared and those that didn't even like children. So deep was my awareness that when I taught or counseled or ran a division of a hospital, I always put myself in the heart of that child, patient, client, and colleague. So the title of today is Master the Unknown, and you will never need to know anything. Be friends with the unknown, and secrets will be shared. Just by following your spirit and your heart promptings. And I was thinking about little children, and I've also been a mother. And the mother's first task is to listen to this new one. Keep him or her safe. And when the time comes for school, make sure that that child has a sense of their own being and preciousness to their family. Important strengths in their backpack before entering the system. As a board member of the Peace School, which stands for Paradigm Education Academy of Conscious Enlightenment, we are re-enchanting education with the child-centered learning, and I'm happy to report that Swisindo is funding Peace Schools in their expansion throughout the world. The first school is to be opened in Kenya in the near future. And as long as I mention Swisindo, I'm just going to one more time remind you, I hope you all have your M1 vouchers that you got from the website swisindo.news. And this is the voucher with the square for your picture down there. And scroll down a little bit further, and you'll find the Debt Burden Relief Certificate or Liberation Certificate, DBLC. These are important. And not only do I say this all the time, but millions of people have been downloading them. And by now, there is a satellite Swisindo office in Ecuador and a brand new one that just opened in Bosnia. And the one in Bosnia was interesting. This man who was from Bosnia and living in Switzerland was home on a visit, and he brought the idea of the voucher back to his family. And the word got around, and the police came because they thought, maybe there's something here to investigate. So they started to talk to him, and they took him in for questioning. And by the end of their conversation, every police officer had downloaded an M1 voucher. So therefore, this man is so excited. He's moved back to Bosnia, and he's opened a satellite office there. So I'll be reporting new offices opening all over. I'm sure of it. Now, as far as the news about BAPAC or M1, things are progressing well, and the investigation is continuing. And a lot of that is very confidential because as a result of his interview, many, many, many people have had a finger pointed at them for their corruption for the past 40 years. So this is a big opening of what needed to be exposed. So that's it for Swisindo for this week. Now, this has been a very exciting title because Robert walked into the kitchen and he said, Barbara, this is the new series. And you're going to be discussing the unknown. And it's exciting, but where do you start? And so this is where I started. Well, first of all, it was heartening to discover this writing by Laura Eisenhower on Facebook. So it's getting out there. It's happening. And as a matter of fact, I reposted it, and Lisa in Scotland has reposted it again. So it's hitting a very important nerve for those of us who are waking, have awakened, and have yet to be awakened. And here it is. She said, "We are born into distortion the minute we enter the matrix. Upon birth, one clear, all right. Our clear energies from the very beginning start to get shaped and conditioned by programming and ancestral imprints that work against our divine blueprint. We are not here to evolve as much as we are here to learn how to master these energies and find our true selves again when everything out there wants us to lose ourselves to something we are not. It comes down to what we choose to take in or reject. When we unplug from the forces that have dumbed down our DNA through mind control and persuasion, we begin the activation process and the expansion into our vast consciousness that knows exactly how to restore, mend, and heal. Spiritual awakening directly affects our DNA, honoring the functions of our inner masculine and feminine, brings about internal balance, and being conscious in our physical bodies in terms of how we treat it boosts our immunity. The power is in our hands. We just have to be strong enough to accept that. Genetic damage can be fixed through our consciousness. Energy exists before matter. Each part of ourselves that needs fixing relates to a belief, behavior pattern, or attachment that we are being asked to let go of. The body is the map that our consciousness creates. So any blockage or patterns that disrupt the flow of divine light through all our meridians are going to act as a roadblock, creating pain and symptoms until we address the deeper cause. Doing this in our relationships has the same effect. Once we take the time to do this, our choices, words, and actions serve our transformation and assist the collective in waking up to this level of self-responsibility and commitment to the ascension path. Mother Earth is the only planet that holds the divine template of the monad. So from within, we find this and ground ourselves in her body and her expansion and liberation from all who have used her for their own selfish ends. We are her. It is heartening to know that people are waking. And sometimes quickly, sometimes with hesitation, but the movement is there. Now this next piece is called, and it's one of Robert's writing that I came across, and it's called The Freshness of Each Day. See from a distance, and you will find that there is no need to maintain a focus on any one event or circumstance. All that we know, all that you see will fall into place, and your input will happen without expending physical energy to maintain your position. The world is capable of responding to your needs, and through the influence of the energies of the universe, it will carry out all tasks before there is any need for your physical input. In this way, you will know the value of your presence in the world, and it will not be necessary to register any desires with anyone to make them appear in front of you each day. In the silence of your own being, you can celebrate each moment and then watch as it comes to the surface and presents you as the elevated, mystical being who is really living behind all that is presented by your presence. I know I've been reading from There Is Another Way, but this was too good to pass up. it was exactly what we're speaking about today. In mastering the unknown. The key is to remember that you're dealing with the unknown. So if you already know something to the point of being able to explain, then forget it, because it isn't unknown. Once you try to explain, you change the new reality to suit the old, and therefore magically make it disappear. If we want to see our new reality, then we have to stop making it disappear and allow the unknown to be a reality in our lives. The unknown cannot exist in the physical world unless it has something to hold it. Just like you cannot do much with a paintbrush and paints unless you have a medium to place it on. You cannot paint a picture in midair with a paintbrush and paints. You need paper or canvas to hold the form. The unknown will only demonstrate itself in the physical world if it has a medium on which it can appear. And that medium is the hidden, elevated connection between each one of us, where our spirit resides and our universal selves are recognized. Now, if we now recap on what has been said, we will quickly experience the simplicity. The transference of the unknown into the physical world is not to make it known, but to allow its effect to be felt, seen, or heard in the physical. Remember that the unknown remains the unknown. It is the same as painting a picture. The picture comes out of the paint and paintbrush and appears on a canvas, and the paint and the paintbrush remain to paint another picture. The only way you can experience the unknown is to allow it to openly exist in your life and the lives of your friends. From here, the beauty of your own presence and the magic of life itself are experienced in every moment, and the gifts available to you, together with the gifts you have to offer to the world, becomes a reality. It has always been the case that the greatest things that happen in your life seem to appear out of nowhere with great flamboyance and synchronicity that could never be planned by human logic. The continuation of this marriage with the unknown is now the most exciting part of your existence. And the unique brilliance that you bring to the world is recognized by you and everyone around you. There is always another way that will produce harmony and perfection in your life, and it is continually delivered from the unknown to satisfy the hidden heart's desire of who you really are. Thank you, Robert. I feel that I could read that every day for the rest of my life. In that realization that the unknown, whether or not I am recognizing its presence is with me at all times. And the bird just answered me. You hear it? It's there. Everyone responds in their own way, in their own level, and you don't have to understand, which is quite a shock for an active intelligence, mind, worldly person. But just to relax and let the unknown enter into your experience. I have more gems to share with you. On August 27th, 2013, I came across this. And it says, on this occasion, we talk further on the subject of the unknown and how it can be used continually in your life without you even being aware of its action. If you decide to live beyond possibility and allow yourself to see, feel, and taste beyond any possibility, the unknown will become active in your life, and without revealing itself, it will bring into your life the perfection of the impossible. If you dance with spirit, you will see the unknown and have it continually appear in your life. The unknown is so exciting to humanity that it has no place being hidden from the human reality. As we talk, you will notice that everything is acceptable as long as we talk of the unknown or the unseen. If we attempt to be more specific, then it is likely that a barrier will be raised and we will get no further. To prevent any such action, we will talk about the joy and excitement of something special happening, either ahead of time or with such ease that it is almost unbelievable. The effect on your life is amazing, and the feelings that are aroused are never forgotten. The general feeling of the surprise and hidden knowing that this was possible but not likely catches the feeling of accepting the unknown as part of your life. Feel it, expect it, and know beyond a doubt that it is a major part of your life. Although something seems impossible, you can know beyond a doubt that it will happen, or it will be replaced by something more impossible that never made itself known until the final moment. In working with the unknown, you are more in line with nature and the physical world than you can imagine. You become an active part of nature in encouraging the magic to perform on a daily basis and bring to the individual that special interplay with the functions of the universe that bring delight into everyone's heart. The permanent installation of the unexpected is the reality of humanity. It's been tried many times, and now it is tied into the logic of personal development. and circumstance, such that there is always some reason that can be stated to kill the actual function of the unknown and disconnect it from the unique elements of spirit where it belongs. The action of spirit is the true definition of the unknown. And acceptance of spirit in its true elevated state is acceptance of the unknown. Take this on in your life, and you will experience a joy that can never be explained and will never let you down, even if you have forgotten. And in those forgetful moments, may you always have a dear friend to remind you of how very special you are. Yeah. Once again, I had fun cruising around youngsite.com and putting in all kinds of search words, of course, unknown. And there was so much to choose from, so much to get excited about. And this one really caught me by surprise because many, many years ago, Robert created sound bites or magic bites, and it was hidden. And it's a video. And I spent entirely too much time transcribing his words. And I went over and over to make sure, because what he says is so poignant and right on the point that is so important to be made. Robert, in this one, Robert is speaking of resource and time in the unknown. Oh, by the way, this is so powerful. And Robert said, oh, there are so many of those. I believe they're Vimeos. And I thought, oh, really? Well, they need to get the fresh air of the social media, or shall I say, they should bring the fresh air to social media and have everyone hear what I heard last night. And once they have it, they can play it again and again. He said, the big thing that I wanted to pass on to everyone is that I notice very clearly that it is time for us to realize that we have more available to us than what we are using. And there is a distinct focus on what everybody thinks. Even all the beautiful sharings on social media, I put that in, and a distinct focus on what can be organized to make more sales and income, and the focus on the unknown is sort of sinking into the background. Not for everyone, but just in general. The more I talk about the focus on the unknown is because there are many, many things there that will work for us. Many sensitivities that we have that we are not taking notice of. Our ability to make things work is not now based on our physical ability. It's based on another set of senses and another set of energies, similar to those that children use, similar to the one we use in emergencies. The senses that tell us that someone has entered the room, the senses that tell us that something needs attention. It's more than intuitive. It is real. It is real. And the focus on what to do is really still the same as it used to be because of the word do. And much of what has to be done, ready, is to stop doing. It is frustrating when you can't see what you are actually achieving. It's only a matter of a short time when you know what you have influenced, even while sitting on the couch. It will show itself almost immediately when we know that each of us is coming from our heart's desire. When our conversation between one another is open and clear because we know what the other person desires, not what they think, but their heart's desire, even though your logic cannot understand it. The same thing happens in reverse. If you work with your heart's desire, it will be picked up and action will happen, even though your logic cannot understand it. We will be working on the unknown and attempting to display to everyone the skills that we all have in making our world work in a totally different manner to that in the past, to where life is total joy. Many people say time heals. And if you play with that, you'll see that you can adjust time and your healing will be shorter because time does heal. But if you make time long, anything and everything will take a long time. You make time short, healing is instantaneous. And if you make it really short, healing happens before the problem appears to you, not by doing, but by your awareness, by playing, having fun, and enjoying our interactions in such a different way that we can't find a discrepancy with one another. Can you imagine? This is going to be posted and listened to and watched all over. That is my heart's desire. And I live with that desire to make sure that the unknown is a friend to everyone. And there's more. Wow. Choices, choices. Well, this comes first. On Wednesday, you heard David speak of the magnitude of the meeting that took place the night before on the galactic ship Ontario. And we heard these words spoken. There were 6 of us around the table. They are here, was spoken, followed by the door to the new world has just been opened. The future rushes at you without introduction. And there is another world ready for you to live and enjoy immediately. This is happening right now, and there is no explanation that can be offered to fulfill any possible need that lingers from the past. There is no sense of need in the new world, and all that you present is sufficient to fulfill everything that could possibly be needed by anyone. There is no need for words of confirmation when you are working with new possibilities, particularly when your information is coming from nowhere and you have no real measure for comparison. All your movement for today will continue to follow the lead of your new possibility. And a picture of what you are doing will form at a later stage for you to recognize. There are many new things that you can pass on, and they will flow quickly as you start to deliver your message of advancement. The success of your venture is not based on your delivery. It is based on your lack of preparation and the ease with which data flows from you. All that you need to do is be natural, and your message will take on its own form in amongst your ease of presentation. This is all that the world needs, and your ability to speak to everyone in their own reality makes it much more palatable to everyone. And I know this message is within each and every one of you listening to this broadcast. And now it is time for you to broadcast your reality, what you have discovered, what you have to share. And there will be no need for words. Your love, your caring, your support, and your influence will be felt as it spreads to everyone who is thirsty to hear this. They may not know it, but they will receive your heart's desire as you live your life. Last week, I had the joy of reading from this work called transmit your essence. And as we pick it up, we're going to start right here with advancement. Advancement is now the most prominent aspect of life, and all the components are about to fill everyone's life with joy and excitement beyond belief. Listen carefully and take on the movement that is being suggested. You will soon know what is needed, and your field will change to accommodate what we suggest. There are no words, but the message is clear and easy to decipher at a level that is well above where you are focused at the moment. All that is needed is a moment of free flow. And there in front of you will be everything that you can ever need to access. Advancement is not a linear process, even though it is implied in the meaning of the word. In the process of advancement, everything is available, even though you have no idea of what much of it means, and no data is being thrust in front of you regularly to indicate its presence. The gradual awareness that we explain to one another is actually a random process that continually paints a picture from unknown components until the light of awareness comes in and suddenly declares that it understands what has been presented. The old descriptions and similarities disappear as soon as you declare your understanding, and a new description is developed to satisfy the understanding. In looking at the flow, you can now see that what is being delivered to you is an understanding of what you have available and where you can find it at any time. The level at which you approach all unknowns determines your ability to comprehend. If you approach everything as new, you will look for the instructions and go from there. But if you have any concept or expectation, then you will not understand until you either change the reality of what you are looking at, or you find a similarity to what you already know. No. As you step further into the process of advancement, you will see that you have control over many things, but you do not have control over the random movement that makes things happen. The more you try to take control over the random movement of events, the more you will find yourself locked in the cycle that prevents anything new from appearing in your world. When you go with the flow and enjoy the skills you display along the way, you will be continually exposed to the magic, and many miracles will appear all around you. Much of what we have indicates that we are pointing to something that you can't see. This is true. And it is significant to say that all the feelings of discomfort in the physical world, which are not attributed to direct contact with your body, are actually hiding something that you have been unable to look at without generating a sense of discomfort. It is now possible to look at everything from a higher level so you can see past the discomfort and reveal the components in their real light. The things that have been declared as unsuitable for you may very well be hiding the gift that you have for the world. Much of your past experience has managed to lock out the very essence of your being. And now it is prudent to see everything as new, in that there is no link to the past or its experiences. Your power in the world is undeniable, but its presence is not yet accepted to the level that you experience from time to time. There is only one person who can control your power, and that is you. As you turn the power down, not only is the power level depleted, it loses its calm and non-invasive qualities and produces disturbances for everyone. Once the flow is released, there is no disturbance, and your complete power is accepted in the world without comment. Let us go further and demonstrate the ease with which your body can recover once you raise above all the internal comments and see nothing but the divine essence in which you live. All other influences disappear, and you can only see the perfection of everything as totally new and without description. Now that you can see from a different place, there is little more to say. The continued transmission of your essence will say more than we can ever attempt, and we are there in support as you deliver what you know in the world. And this brings me to a most favorite place. And that is the joy and the honor of reading David's words. And they are so apt. It's called When Tears of Joy Begin to Flow. When I see the beauty, but more importantly, when I feel the beauty, tears of joy begin to flow. It hits the part of all of us that knows the freedom that existed before we lost our sovereignty. It's the feeling that comes over you when a friend or a loved one expresses their recognition of having lost their way, and in the next breath, their remembrance of their true nature. The beauty is almost too much to bear. The heart is broken open with an explosion that is equivalent to the birth of the universe, and tears of joy begin to flow. This beauty also shows itself in the colors of a sunset. in the majesty of a mountain, in the excitement of an animal, and in the face of a child, in the smile of a tree, the laugh of the ocean, the kiss of a flower. This beauty, too, is almost too much to bear, and tears of joy began to flow. The new world that will soon be evident to all humanity will release every living being from their prison and usher in a world of beauty that has never been seen before. And the beauty will be almost too much to bear, and tears of joy will flow. Every heart will feel the harmony, peace, and joy that they always knew existed deep inside of themselves before survival and separation reared their ugly heads, bringing with it money, greed, jealousy, competition, and hate. Now in its place will be love, oneness, encouragement, selflessness, service, and joy. And the beauty will almost be too much to bear. And tears of joy will flow from your eyes. This is why we came. This is why I am. This is why I'm here. And as it was said before, a long time ago, I once again speak these 3 words. It is finished. Now, let the celebration begin. This has been very momentous for me, and I thank you all for joining with me today. And now, all of us here at the Advancement Center are wishing you a perfect life, perfect health, and a really magical future. Thank you.